NASCAR told him no. Then everything exploded. Garrett Mitchell, better known to the world as Cleetus McFarland, just got denied approval to race at Talladega Superspeedway in the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Most drivers, when NASCAR shuts a door in their face, go quiet. The story shrinks. The momentum dies. But in the days that followed that denial, Cleetus landed one of the biggest sponsorship deals of his career, ran a sold-out event at his own track, and announced a brand new racing division that nobody saw coming. The man does not stop. If you somehow don't know the name yet, here's the short version. Garrett Mitchell, 30 years old, built a massive audience under the name Cleetus McFarland on YouTube, a channel now sitting at over 4.6 million subscribers, built entirely on burnouts, Crown Victorias, horsepower chaos, and the Freedom Factory, his privately owned racetrack in Bradenton, Florida. He did not grow up in a racing family. He did not come through the karting pipeline. He did not have a wealthy backer grooming him for NASCAR from age 8. He learned how to push machines to their limits on his own terms, and built a community around that obsession. But this is not just a content creator story anymore. His racing resume is real. He made his ARCA debut at Daytona, ran 4 ARCA races in 2025, scored top 10 finishes at both Talladega and Charlotte, with a career-best 9th place finish at Charlotte. In February 2026, he made his NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series debut at Daytona, qualifying 12th before crashing on lap 6. Then he signed a 2-year part-time deal with Richard Childress Racing, one of the most historic organizations in NASCAR, to race in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. He is not cosplaying a racer. He is actually trying to become one. The plan coming into Easter weekend at Rockingham Speedway was ambitious. Cleetus was set to run both the ARCA Menard Series East race and his O'Reilly Series debut on the same day in the number 33 Chevrolet for Richard Childress Racing. He finished 4th in the ARCA East race, legitimately fast, running with the leaders, keeping his nose clean. That is not nothing. Then came the O'Reilly race. He qualified 35th and started from the back. On lap 4, he attempted a 3-wide move, entering turn 1 slid sideways, made a remarkable save, but lost enormous ground to the leaders. On lap 49, Blake Lothian spun directly in front of him, and Cleetus missed the car by inches, diving to the apron at the last second. Then, on lap 206, his car broke loose in turn 3, slid to the bottom of the track, and spun back into traffic, drawing the final caution of the day. He finished 32nd, 6 laps down. Worth noting, Rockingham had recently been repaved. It runs a hard tire with an extremely narrow window of grip before the car gets away from you. Context that matters when judging just how tricky that surface is for someone still building experience. Dale Earnhardt Jr. addressed it directly on his Dale Jr. Download podcast. I saw enough to not approve him for Daytona or Talladega in the O'Reilly Series. I was not present in person for any of this, but I watched the YouTube video from the truck test with Nice. I watched the YouTube video of his O'Reilly test with RCR, and then I watched the race. And in all 3 of those, he busted his ass. In all 3 of those instances, he lost control of the car, the truck. But Earnhardt Jr. also made something else very clear. To do what he's done is really phenomenal for a guy that has no racing background, didn't grow up in a racing family. Days after Rockingham, NASCAR made it official. John Probst, NASCAR's EVP and Chief Racing Development Officer, went on the Hauler Talk podcast and laid it out plainly. We're all huge Cleetus fans. We all watch his videos and are certainly very appreciative of everything he's done in our sport and will continue to do in our sport. He is approved right now for O'Reilly Series short tracks. He's good for all of ARCA, all of truck, and then O'Reilly up through the short tracks. We'd like to see more out of Cleetus in the short tracks. So we're not saying no, but there is more that we would like to see out of Cleetus before we would approve him for Talladega. Steve O'Donnell, the president of NASCAR, echoed that on the Door Bumper Clear podcast, assessing progression race by race, and then added something that tells you exactly how NASCAR really feels. We love Cleetus. Our R&D team watches his videos. We love what he has done for the sport. Cleetus responded the way he always does, directly and without drama. I wanted you to hear it from me first, that I have been denied by NASCAR to run Talladega in my O'Reilly car. I made my O'Reilly debut last Saturday with hopes of getting approval for Talladega, but they did not see enough. It is what it is. I need more windshield time regardless of whether it's in an O'Reilly car or ARCA car or truck. More windshield time is going to help me. I've got a lot to learn, guys. Now here is the number that makes NASCAR's position uncomfortable. The Rockingham O'Reilly race on the CW pulled 1.165 million viewers, up 12% in rating and 11% in total audience, compared to the same event a year earlier. Cleetus McFarland did not cause all of that alone, but he is undeniably part of that wave. NASCAR is simultaneously holding him back and benefiting directly from his presence. That tension is real. On April 7th, Polaris officially announced a multi-year partnership with Cleetus McFarland and his entire motorsports community. This is not a logo on a fire suit or a sticker on a car door. The official announcement stated that across his operations, content, and experiences at the Freedom Factory, Cleetus would be powered by Polaris. Reed Wilson, president of Polaris Off-Road Vehicles, said they could not just watch from the outside and had to be part of it, calling out Cleetus's energy, passion, and authenticity as exactly what American motorsports represents. Cleetus revealed the deal with a video where he surprised the entire Freedom Factory crew with a brand new fleet of Polaris off-road vehicles on day one. The Crown Vic Fire crew received a Ranger XP 1000 four-seater for debris cleanup. The grounds crew got a specialized Ranger XP 1000 for landscaping. Track management received a Ranger XD 1500 Extreme Duty as a mobile office. Track prep expert Wade got a brand new Ranger XP 1000 to replace his decade-old unit. A company physically upgrading the infrastructure of how the Freedom Factory operates on the first day of a deal is not a press release move. It is a statement. No confirmed dollar figure has been released publicly. Any number you see circulating online is speculation, not confirmed information. But from a pure business standpoint, Polaris is not paying for random exposure. They are plugging into a built-in fan base that shows up for the Freedom 500 Crown Vic Chaos events, drag events, shop content, track life, and now sanctioned racing. They are backing an entire ecosystem, not just one person. That same weekend, April 10th, the same day as the Bristol race, the Freedom 500 ran at the Freedom Factory to a sold-out crowd. 26 drivers took the green flag, including Travis Pastrana as the defending champion and Kenny Wallace, alongside a full field of NASCAR veterans and content creators, all racing Crown Victorias for 500 laps. Cleetus himself ended his night early with mechanical issues following a wreck. The Dagon family took the win. While NASCAR was debating whether he belonged at Talladega, he was running his own packed event at his own track. Then there is the expansion that even hardcore followers have not fully processed. Cleetus told Short Track Scene that he bought a straight rail late model from Port City Race Cars and plans to add a pro late model division to his Crown Vic events. I want to start my own little late model series that travels with the Crown Vics, he said. They run approximately 6 events per year, and the goal is to build that series directly into the event card alongside the Crown Vics. This is a layered motorsports business. Content, facilities, grassroots events, off-road experiences, sanctioned racing, and now a traveling series, all building simultaneously. When NASCAR blocked him from racing at Talladega in the O'Reilly car, Cleetus showed up at Talladega Superspeedway anyway, with Crown Victorias and 3 RFK Racing Cup Series drivers, Brad Keselowski, Ryan Preece, and Chris Buescher. The track was booked for a private rental. The Crown Vics were fitted with shorter Goodyear Eagle Phone tires to squeeze out more RPM. Without nitrous, they hit 148 miles per hour in drafting packs. Then they hit the nitrous and registered 159 miles per hour in a tandem run down the backstretch. Keselowski, who historically is credited with pioneering the tandem drafting strategy in NASCAR, said it felt nearly identical to the real thing. NASCAR said he could not race there officially, so he made content there instead, and almost certainly generated more eyeballs than a 31st place finish in the O'Reilly race would have produced. The pattern here is not coincidence. Every time a door closes, Cleetus McFarland opens 3 more. Richard Childress has publicly praised the value he brings to the sport. NASCAR's own president is going on podcasts and saying they love him by name. Polaris just committed to a multi-year deal built around his entire world, and he is simultaneously expanding his own racing operation in directions that have nothing to do with NASCAR's approval. The traditional garage laughed when he showed up. Some veterans took shots. Critics lined up with reasons why it would never work. What actually happened is that he kept racing, kept building, kept signing deals, and grew an operation that most full-time NASCAR drivers could not put together in a decade. His business model: YouTube audience, feeding live events, feeding sponsorships, feeding grassroots racing, feeding sanctioned racing, all feeding each other, is unlike anything else active in the sport right now. The Talladega door in the O'Reilly series is not closed. John Probst said clearly they are not saying no forever. Steve O'Donnell said progression is what they need to see, race by race. This isn't as much of a step back or a push down as it seems, Cleetus said. A little bit of a kick in the nuts, but I just have to get out there in the other cars and do as much learning as possible, and then hopefully I'll get to run Daytona and Talladega next year. Closed doors have never once slowed this man down. The only real question left is what NASCAR is waiting for.